Gamers, welcome back. World of Warcraft Classic Hardcore Ironman Adventures, Episode 11. We're back. It's a mouthful every time. It's like one of the longest titles I have, yeah. But anyways, before we get into today's or tonight's episode, I want to clarify on the rules. I was supposed to do this in Episode 10 and completely forgot, but essentially we have three main rules on this run. 1, death equals delete. 2, we've adjusted this rule. Originally it was we could group up with people in the world if it was a group quest or to do dungeons once. We've now changed that rule. There is no grouping up whatsoever. We cannot group up at all. It is completely solo adventure. That means if we want to do dungeons, we have to solo them. We have to figure out a way to kill a boss on our own. And if we want to do elite or group quests, we have to do them alone as well. And then rule number 3, there's no asking for any kind of help via asking a druid for a buff, or asking a priest for a stamina buff, or asking a guy in a cave to help me with a pole without like grouping up with him or anything like that, right? It's completely solo. So those are our main 3 rules. I adjusted it like episode 8 when I realized the server didn't have the popularity to really do dungeon runs. And I realized once I wasn't going to be able to do all of them. I didn't want to even do one, so I was like, fuck it, let's just do none. But anyways, we're back. I think I have to sneeze, jeez. Hang on one second. No, I'm on the verge. Hey Ranu. Okay. Last time I wanted to do some crafting when we logged in because I have a bunch of materials, so.
Would you rather trust your goods with a goblin?
Let me just take a peek at what we have here. Bunch of fish for crafting later. Alright, let's head over to the engineering quarter. See what we can make. Aged for days. I like that name on an undead warlock. But, yeah. We're back a little later than usual. 11:30 will probably go until like midnight, or not a little later than midnight, obviously 12:30, maybe 1 o'clock at the latest. But yeah, I'm gonna try and just keep it to an hour tonight. We'll start off with some crafting. Last time we finished Skull Rock last night. Did all Skull Rock. It was a double elite. We had Gazuz in there, and then also Fellweaver Scorn was in there. They were like right next to each other. That was intense. We had to pull Gazuz, kill him, wait for evasion to come back. Get really tricky with the elite. We actually killed him. He gave us nothing. He gave us these gloves, I think. So not nothing, but basically nothing. We also found this chest piece in there. This is a really nice chest piece. 2 agility, 1 stamina. We were using one stamina on a chest piece before, but this is just... Or no, it was 2 stamina on the chest piece, but this is just better. Let's check the mining training, because look, we can smelt silver now. I'll go ahead and get that. We have 185 copper bars. It's pretty crazy. Sovik.
Hello, adventurer. If you don't see it in my shop, chances are good I can get it.
What do you have for sale? We can get the firework, thorium grenade, nothing else really. And then probably Thund is who I need to talk to.
You think you're smart enough? You think you got what it takes? Let's find out.
Yeah, let's find out. Handful of rough copper bolts and a rough copper bomb. I want both of those. Alright, let's go craft. I'll tell you what, let's make the bombs first. I'm gonna make probably 60 of these bad boys. I mean, I might as well, huh? Take a peek at my first aid. It's decent. Decent enough to make me want to just make as many of these until it goes green as I can. These bombs are nice because they stun. Now these bombs would be very useful to have. These, we want to make a few of these just to have for the stun. This could help with casters. This can help with just general any mobs in general, elites, group pulls, like, oh look, it's green already. Well, then we probably won't make too many of these bad boys. We'll make 2 stacks. We'll make 2 stacks of 20, and then we'll save the rest of our blasting powder for maybe these bombs. Because I'm going to make a ton of copper bolts here in just a second. Maybe we can get to 50 with this. Now it sells for 30 silver. I mean, I guess just not 30 silver, 30 copper. Jesus, what is wrong with me? Anvil and a blacksmith hammer. Well, that's an anvil right there. All right, let me let me go into OBS and look for a specific image file. Because we could very well get to our goggle goal. There she is. Let's adjust her. Bit too big. What if we did something like that? Just for this episode. That's only when we get the goggles, though. I don't know where we would put it on the screen, though. I mean, I don't hate, like, down here or something, just for this episode. Or maybe even... It's not terrible, right? Cool. It's not terrible, I like it. Small, inconspicuous. How many have we made? Let me check back in. Let me see where we're at. We made 25. Let's go to 30. Still have tons of bars, God. I'm gonna need more than this, so I mean, just keep making them while they're green, I guess. I know that you use a ton of these things. But at least we can become a journeyman engineer now, which is exciting. Just keep making them until they go gray, I guess. I gotta use this copper. And we still want some copper to turn into tin. Or no, it's steel. You need copper and tin to turn into steel or iron. One of the two. I could check in just a second. Level 42 warrior. It's a fury warrior. That was cool. You don't often see those. And it's usually because of hit chance. Everyone knows. There we go. It's officially gray. We hit 60 with it. So let's go to 50 bolts for now. Now let's make a bunch of bombs. I usually like to do the really weak bombs on this one. I like to do the strong non-stun bombs on this one, and then I like to do stun bombs here. So 1 weak bombs, 2 strong bombs, 3 stun bombs. Now these bombs kind of suck because you can only carry them in stacks of 10. but they're very powerful. We're gonna make some, just for backup, we'll get to 75 and then we'll be done. We'll carry 2 stacks with us of each, I think, for now, and then everything else will just go in the bank for later. Excuse me, I'm very hiccupy. Is that a word? Hiccupy? Okay. 75 engineering. Thund, my man.
You know who's really smart? Nog. Smarter than me, even. You go tell Nog Thun sent you. You can find him by the control panel over there.
Nog.
What's up? You have earned the privilege of training with a higher instructor. Go see my pal Rochik there.
Not quite yet. I need to talk to you. We can become a journeyman. That's great. We do need to learn how to make an arc light spanner, because we're going to need a spanner. We need copper tubes. I don't need a boomstick, and I don't need a crude scope. I do need a copper modulator. I need coarse blasting powder, coarse dynamite. Don't need the heavy shot.
Have a good one. Hello, adventurer. If you don't see it in my shop, chances are good I can get it.
I'm gonna need this in the future, but it's too expensive right now. A gyro chronotom for an engineering quest, but it's too expensive right now at our current stage of the journey. Let me go ahead and make a spanner. Kind of messes up our bags, I know, but it is what it is. All right. What to make now? 2 more of these. I guess modulators. I need 25 out of these. And I think modulators stack up in stacks of 5. I'll need the modulators later for target dummies if I'm not wrong. So these are useful as well. I want to save all of these that I can. $36.5 is what? 16? 18? Yeah, 18. So we have exactly as many as we can make. We'll get to 50 bolts, and then we'll go ahead and make probably 15 of these bad boys. Oops. Then we'll probably look to put some stuff up in the bank for later. We're eating up a good bit of our copper, which is nice, though. Because I just had way too much of it, I couldn't even store it. Before I make too many of these, make 2 more, but I should make as many of these bombs as I can before they go completely gray for me. Because the rough blasting powder, I think, ends right here, yeah. And yeah, it uses linen, but these bombs are still useful even later. Not a single point, though, from them. Hey, yo, we love it. Huge, we love it. You're an actual piece, you know that? Guess fuck me. I guess I was wrong. Alright, well we get to 90 engineering. Right on the cusp. Nog.
You have earned the privilege of training with a higher instructor. Go see my pal Rochik there.
Target dummies huge. And the silver contact, learn that now. What do we need for target dummies? Yeah, the copper modulators, wool cloth, bronze bars, and copper bolts. So even more copper bolts. Now that we know that, let's go ahead and just make a bunch more. Probably get a stack of like 30, I guess. So I need 14. Call it 34. Oops. Actually, it's worse to stack them like this now that I'm looking at it. But I guess I need. Yeah, I need them for everything. It's crazy. I know this is insane, but I might be selling this rough blasting powder. I think we're about done with these lower tier bombs. It might be nice to make some of these, but the linen cloth has more important uses right now via the modulators. In order, it's probably modulators because modulators make dummies, and dummies save our lives. And then after that, it probably goes first aid bandages to get it up to higher levels. Which, speaking of, I need to look at my skills and I can become a journeyman in first aid, which we should. I just need to get fishing up and we can become a journeyman in fishing. Also, we have business with Niru and the war chief. So let's talk to Niru first. Senkaya. 333 health. It's a sign. It's a sign. We should get the higher tier food as well at this point. Miru.
Listen closely to what you are told, and do not quickly trust or distrust, for even friends serve their own ends, adventurer. Our great war chief knows this, and to prove that there are warlocks within the Horde who do not wish to destroy it from within or gain control over it, I have volunteered to aid our young leader in any way I can.
My most humble greetings, rogue. How might I help my undead brother today? Well, Morgaz sent us with this collar. Can you examine it?
And where did you get this? Good Margot's in Razor Hill sent it to me, did he? Well, let me take a closer look.
Not Morgaz, Margot's.
Since the last great war when the Burning Legion was defeated, I have searched for sources of demonic corruption in Orc society. The collar you brought me confirms my fears. It belongs to the Burning Blade, a cult that rallies around an item of demonic power. It is called the Demon Seed, and it resides in the Barrens atop Dreadmist Peak. It must be destroyed. Go to Farwatch Post on the border of the Barrens to the west and speak with my assistant, Akzeloth. He will direct you further.
Akzeloth. Alright, Burning Shadows. You have something vital to report? I can sense it behind your eyes.
Intriguing. The voice you heard mentioned my name. I'm known for hunting down enemies of our war chief, but ... it is strange that I was singled out. Stranger still that the Burning Blade cultists from whom you recovered this pendant have a name so close to my own.
Yeah, exactly. What is
this pendant? I must study and must ponder the meaning of its message. Thank you for bringing this to my attention, adventurer. You have done your people a great service.
Not sure if we trust this guy. Now remember, no dungeon runs, so we're not taking Slaying the Beast as a dungeon quest. I'm going to go ahead and just hide it. 16 plus. I don't think I'm going to be soloing any dungeons. It's just not my my gist, my forte. I think this is all stuff I'm keeping. This top row, this is all stuff I'm selling. I just don't, odd numbers and weird. I don't know, I'm weird. I like 3, but 4 was weird. I'd rather have a stack of 5, so if I can't, go to 3. And then these extra 2, I mean, I should just hold on to them and use them as soon as we go out, but it is, I mean, an extra silver helps pay for some training, so. Night Dork, I like that guy's name. War Chief, I have news.
What is it? All members of the Horde are equal
In my eyes.
Adventurer. We have all.
Do you have the insignia yet, Belumbra? It will be a vital tool in infiltrating what I believe is the greatest threat to the Horde, and finally finding peace in our new home. You will learn how intricate a web men and orcs alike can weave when they are motivated by greed and power. The hidden agendas, the corruption, all of it will become clear. You'll find yourself in the midst of a war you never knew existed.
Good, adventurer. The spirits be praised. Perhaps you are the one who will finally put my greatest fears to rest. Who would suspect someone so young and so brave would rise up and champion our cause?
I'm actually
you remind
dead.
me of myself when I was younger. I will ensure that you are justly rewarded for your efforts. If we both survive the coming storm, but there is time for more praise later. You've not accomplished anything in comparison to what you will face, but this is a good start.
Tell me more.
Now, let us see if this insignia you found is worth the effort. There is a warlock within the city who believes he has my trust. He does not know that I realize where his true loyalties lie. He is in fact the leader of the Burning Blade.
Oh.
But do not rush off to do battle with him. He has a purpose, and we shall use him against our enemies. Take this insignia to him, in the Cleft of Shadow, here in Orgrimmar. Speak to him, and see if he believes you are one of his own. Then return to me here.
I mean, it makes sense, right? Niru, Fireblade. The cult is called the Burning Blade. Like, of course Niru is the leader behind them. Alright. Isn't that Manaroth's body? Or am I wrong? It looks just like Manaroth's body and his skull. I'm pretty sure it is. Like, that's his breastplate and everything. So, there's no way it's not. Heels Noob. I like that. Actually, I don't like that name. Unoriginal ass. I think what we're going to do is we're going to turn this in. I'm going to hit some fishing and get to 50 fishing. That way I can just be a journeyman in all of our professions. Grab journeyman first aid, journeyman fishing, and then we'll be sitting real pretty. You may speak frankly, Niru.
Ah, one of our own. It is good to see our numbers are growing so rapidly that I can no longer keep track of the faces of our members. That fool Thrall thinks I am working hard to cleanse the image of warlocks and prove we are his servants. Idiot. The Burning Legion will make ash of this entire world after it drains it completely.
It is good to see the Burning Blade is still taking over where the Shadow Council once failed.
Naive fool! The Burning Blade is the Shadow Council. There are many cults and organizations under the Council's rule, but all of them are just extensions of their will. I may lead the Burning Blade, but I am still just as much a pawn to the Council as you are to me. Look at the Searing Blade. Most of them think they are becoming the next rising group of powerful warlocks, that they will replace the Shadow Council.
So the Searing Blade is expendable.
Naive fool! The Burning Blade...
It's not what he said. Ha! Save for their leaders, the Satyr, Basilan, and the Warlock, Jergosh. Yes, all of them. That is why I constantly send Thrall's worshippers at them. It gives Thrall the impression that I am weeding out the evil in the bowels of his great city. The victory is in reality twofold. Kill Thrall's faithful, and test the strength of those in the Searing Blade to see if they are truly worthy of joining me. If there is anything you would have of me.
Ah, one of our own. It is good to see our numbers are...
I will make it known to you. You are obviously already proving yourself in our ranks to become a lieutenant so quickly. Perhaps you can return to me later. I will have a task for you. The Council adores those skilled in the arcane, but servants of all kind are always welcome, no matter their profession. Alright, well. Gorgeous, my man. New mushrooms? Yo, you shouldn't have a spongy moral. Alright, back to Thrall. Just tell him what we learned. Then we're going to pick up some fish over here in the Valley of Honor. Actually, let's go down to the Valley of Spirits. That's where first aid is anyways. I'm ready to fish. Shanti. Alright, Thrall.
Welcome to Orgrimmar. Excellent, most excellent adventurer. What you have done this day is only the first step in a much broader foundation. A foundation that we will build the destruction of the Shadow Council on, once and for all. Tell me all he said, and leave not one word out. It may be more important than you realize. Leaders of the Searing Blade, this concerns me most. If they are the ones of value to Niru, then those are who we must target first. This satyr, Basilan, and the other Niru mentioned, what was he? A warlock must be slain. Return to the Cleft of Shadow and enter Ragefire Chasm, adventurer. Find these two leaders of the Searing Blade and kill them. But be careful not to let Niru know it was you who did this. You must retain your identity as one of his brothers in arms.
Alright, well, we're not going to be taking that quest, so... Kill Basilan and Jergosh. $18 would be the max level that I could do that. Just don't trust him, man. Especially because we could solo it, but then at some point I'm not going to be able to solo like Wailing Caverns. I'm not going to be able to solo the Stockades, Black Fathom Deeps, Scarlet Monastery Graveyard. So it's like, what's the point of just doing one dungeon if I can't do like any of them in the future? You know what I mean? My OCD would just not like that. I'd be like, oh, on my rogue I did this one dungeon and then none of the others, so I'm just gonna skip them. We're just gonna do completely solo runs. Maybe in the future we'll be brave enough to take on some dungeons as we're leveling on, like solo, but I just don't think so, boys. Sorry. Now, first aid training is over here, and this water should be deep enough that I can fish in it. We could pick up a snake while we're over here, too. The Dark Spear love to sell snakes. Zantish. I think he sells a snake for what, like a gold? 50 silver? A little too expensive for me right now, but Arnok.
I am an orc of medicine person. If you have come here to learn, I shall do my best to teach.
Journeyman first aid. We get anti-venom at 80 and wool bandages at 80. Okay, that's our next goal. 80 for first aid. 18 points. Let's go ahead and put a bauble on and get to 50. Zoom in a little bit. I like to get close when we fish. Patience, boys, patience. Those are good to cook. We have some in the bank. I can't cook them yet, but I think there's a recipe in the Undercity, like we said. 42. Seven more. Not a raw bristle whiskered catfish. Trying to really decide what do we want to do next. Do we want to do Silverpine or do we want to do the Barrens? The Barrens is iconic. I've done it a billion times. Never gets old, honestly. I do love the Barrens. It's such a good flow. Or I could do Silverpine. I want to do both, but whichever I do first, the other I'll be going to late, and I'll be playing kind of catch up, where I'll be doing a bunch of quests at first that don't give me experience. And it'll probably be Silverpine first and then the Barrens, because the Barrens has a wider level gap range, if you will. So if we go, right now we're 15, if we go to Silverpine at 15, we'd probably leave that zone, completing all the quests. I'd imagine at like maybe 17, 18 if I was lucky, but like 16, close to 17, or at 17. So I would go to the Barrens at 17. There's a bunch of quests in there that are like, you know, lower level quests. I'd say 11, 12, 12, 13. Like those will probably be green or gray to us by the time that we go there. But that's perfectly fine. We're used to that. And then at that point we would probably be caught up for the rest of the session. And then after that we would cut over into Stone Talon, do all of Stone Talon, probably pop up and do all of Ashen Vale. Just because I do enjoy those zones. I think they're fun. They've got good lore, good quests. And that's 50. Nice. Some more fish to cook later. More for the collection. Alright, well, still decent time. Throw away the Lieutenant's insignia. We never use it again. Tell you what, run by the bank real quick, drop this stuff off. Night Dork, I'm in. We'll drop this stuff off, head over here to the Valley of Honor, learn fishing from this pier here, and then we'll hearth, which will take us back to Razor Hill, all the way down here, and then we'll just run into the Barrens. Damn. Rockstrom looks sick. She is a shaman. Look at this. Now that's what I want my shaman to look like, dude. That's fucking badass.
I guarantee this bank's security with my own blood. Is that good enough for you?
That's alright. Yeah, it's good enough for me. I'm just gonna look up real quick. Where's the raw long jaw mud snapper cooking recipe? I believe it's in the Undercity. Can also get it in Mulgore. Looks like the Undercity. Okay, well we're going back to the Undercity at some point. I'll probably try and pick it up there. Can I cook on these? You sure can. Alright. Now I could hearth and go to Razor Hill and then run to the Barrens. Or we start heading back to Silverpine. Barrens Quest, Sepulcher, Stone Talon Quest, Barrens Quest. Sneeze. Sorry, one more. Is that guy's name Pickle? Or Tickle? Tickle. One more. Goodness me, I'm sneezy. One more? God. Maybe. Had to force that one out. Okay, we got 40 of the rough dynamite and 30 of these rough copper bombs. Tickle, I like that name. Note to self, take a, that's way better. Take an allergy pill before you go to bed tonight. Hopefully it'll help. Man, my eyes are like watering after that 5 sneeze attack. I feel like I need to sneeze again though. Okay, let's take a look. Oh, I never trained it. I can get it in the Undercity. Journeyman Engineer, Journeyman Miner, Journeyman Cooker, or Cooking, Journeyman Fishing. Sorry, First Aid. We'll get Fishing when we hit the Undercity. Okay, so plan, go into the Undercity, find that recipe, train Fishing to Journeyman, and then take the bat to the Sepulcher. And we'll probably start some of the Sepulcher tonight. Not get too deep into it, but I do want to run up here, grab these. Very Mathras is a hide this quest. We hid that quest. Okay. What about and then hide those? Yeah. I do need to make a trip to Thunder Bluff at some point. This is one of my favorite cities in the game. I love this area. Hide that quest. Hide that quest. Silverpine. Damn. Captain Sanders' hidden treasure. There's our boat. Arding? I don't know how to say his name. Arding, maybe? He's got a nice axe. The axe of Orgrimmar. Veteran armor. Pants of the Bear. He's a blacksmith. He made his own gear. I respect that. Let's give him a little bow. Oh, necro pokes. Undead rogue, huh? I'm gonna sit at the front of the boat this time. Too risky. Alright, well. Now we wait. Excuse me. Don't really have anything else that I can do with the time. Bags are organized. Quest log is looking good. We're going to pod rig. It makes me think of Podrick from Game of Thrones. He was a good squire. In order to make bronze, that's what it is. 1 copper, 1 tin makes 2 bronze. That's what it is. So even after we're done with the copper phase in engineering, we need it for the tin or the bronze phase. So we need then copper and tin. Heading back home, boys. We're heading back home. $20 stamina, good God. That's a high level power word fortitude there. That's 200 health. It's like almost double my health pool. My base health is 333. This buff gets me to 533. That's crazy. Power word fortitude on a low level character is insane. 20 stamina? That's like having 20 of these green items as a buff. That's insane. Or 10 of these boots as a buff. That's insane, man. Which side is it going to let us off on? I would, if this was normal, obviously I would make the jump. Everyone would be jumping. This is hardcore. We never do the jump. I like that he kneels, though. This guy's like a role player through and through. And I respect it. So are we. This is a jump I don't mind. Alright, let's not get distracted here. Fishing. Recipe. Fishing. Recipe. Our old stomping grounds. Home sweet home, boys. We're back. Let's not get elevated. Take it nice and slow. We'll get the next one, don't worry. Gives me time to look up who sells this damn thing. Lisbeth Cromwell. Looks like the fishing supplier. Safe travels, friend. Friends. I meant to say friend. Whoops, awkward. My roleplay. One, two. Oh no, I missed. Look at that green though, huh? It's just such a vibrant green. Okay, I think the fishing quarter's like right here, yeah. It's up here. It's not even a fishing quarter, it's a fishing trainer in the magic quarter. Oh, he said it in local defense. You too. What a sweetie. Elizabeth Cromwell, there she is. We found her. It's kind of perfect. They're right next to each other. We get the recipe. We get new baubles. I'll probably buy just... and make it 5. Actually... yeah. I don't think I'm going to use more than 3 before I hit 100, so...
I can teach you fishing skills.
yeah, help me become a journeyman. Alright, running low on money now. 20 silver, basically. But... we have everything we need for quite a while now. We hit 5,000 jumps, let's go. Yeah, it's 5,000. I was like, is that 50,000? There's no way, but... let's learn this recipe. Let's go take those long jaw mud snappers out the bank and cook them real quick. Oh yeah, those will give us orange level points. That's huge. David Hickson and his gang of cool kids. I don't know. Let me grab these bad boys from you. That's the guildmaster side. Oh, is that... are they making a guild? I'm not joining a guild with any of my characters, I don't think. Since I'm not doing dungeons or really being social, this is more about like the whole hardcore solo self-found thing. I think guilds just kind of defeat that. Now, normally I'm all about community and connection in Classic WoW. I love that aspect of it. When we were doing the roleplay run, if you were there for that, if you were a fan of mine then, you saw that and you got to see all that. I was writing people like handwritten letters in the mail and role-playing with people out in the world, and we would do these great big role-play missions and quests, and it was a lot of fun. But the whole hardcore solo self-found thing, I just want to do it completely solo. Which is why I'm kind of glad we cut out the dungeons, we cut out the group quests. We can still do them if I'm brave enough to do them alone, but... which I think is just even cooler, but... alright, cooking at 100, that's kind of crazy. Maybe even 110? Maybe? Holy shit. Maybe actually 110. Come on, baby. 110, come on. There's still a chance. Oh! 108? Yeah, fair. 107's good. Now we can learn the smoked sagefish and the bristle whisker catfish, which is perfect. But that leaves us broke. Still fine. It's worth it. Because I have these fish to cook, so... the bristle whisker catfish. And the smoked sagefish. I don't have too many of them, but I have 11 of them. Still a decent bit. Then I think the next training is the book, right?
And I see we share the same passion.
I don't think I'm going to train these just quite yet. Or maybe, what do these sell for? Not much, huh? It's like, that might buy me a ticket to get to the Sepulcher. I'll make my money back if we can just get to the Sepulcher, so. Dry pork ribs would be nice. It's also crab cakes, but I already have boiled clams. This is crab meat, not clam meat. Also pretty close to these bad boys. We'll come back for these recipes next time we train. I don't need them right now. Okay, we're finally getting out of towns. Had to spend some time doing some profession work. We've been ignoring it for a very long time, but at least we're back in Lordaeron, undead territory, homelands. And we'll do some of the Sepulcher tonight. Once again, this is more of like a... I got to define the rule set of the whole run a little more clearly tonight. I went back and edited in episode 1 and put it in the description at least, like, hey, these are the rules. I clarified later in the run, like, these are the rules. We were under the assumption that we were going to play it like this at the start. No rules were broken. We didn't do any dungeons or group up in any groups. I just want to, you know, clarify it in a specific episode, and we did that in this episode. We also did our profession work, which we needed to do. 90 engineering is great. 82 mining is crazy. We're looking good. Like, cooking at 118 is insane. First aid, kind of low, but I prioritized engineering bombs, and it was worth it, in my opinion. And then fishing, it's a little low, 50, but we'll get it up. This is a great area to get my fishing up because there's a lot of sagefish, I believe, along the coast here, along this whole area. I can find a lot of pools of sagefish and wrecked pools along this area as well too. So this would be a great place to stop, and anytime I see a pool, I'm going to make sure I fish from it until it's completely empty. And we're going to see a lot of pools, I promise you. So, but we're not going to dip too far into Silver Pine or the Sepulcher tonight. We'll probably just like take the quests that are here, learn about what's going on, and then wrap it up. We might go out and do maybe 1 or 2 things. We'll probably take all the quests here, set our hearth here, go grab these, hearth back, and then call it for the night. Like, that sounds like a good plan with the last couple minutes that we have.
Rest your weary bones for a spell.
Okay. Renfarrell, we've heard about you. A recipe for death.
His numbers are overwhelming, but with a new plague, we could eradicate both the Scourge army and the human infestation once and for all. My studies have proven that spider blood combined with a toxin derived from a grizzled bear heart results in a deadly elixir. Collect samples from the spiders in the skittering dark to the northwest, and from the bears wandering throughout the Silverpine forest. Deliver the reagents to Master Apothecary Farinell of the Royal Apothecary Society in the Undercity.
Sengin root. Interesting. Okay. Podrig, we've got those supplies. Belumbra, you return. Do you have our supplies from the Undercity?
Good work, adventurer. These weapons will ensure our death guards don't get caught unprepared. You've done a valuable service for our Dark Lady.
Beware.
Nice. 1,000 experience is pretty good. Shadow Priest Alistair.
As you may know, the town of Ambermill remains a source of human opposition.
mainly through the support they receive from the wizards of Dalaran. I don't know what their plan is, but for them to show interest in a backwater village like Ambermill indicates that it must have some greater importance. They've been shipping crates by the wagon from Hillsbrad. Many of those supplies end up at a small camp north of Pyrewood Village. Retrieve the contents of a crate and return them to me.
Alright. Retrieve the contents of one of the Dalaran wizard crates. You will find Pyrewood Village to the south. Dalar Dawnweaver.
Lady Sylvanus has charged Varimathras with the conquering of the human and dwarven lands to the south. But that fool, Arugal, charlatan of Dalaran and now cursed beast of Shadowfang Keep, let his reckless magic wreak havoc with the strategic stronghold of Silverpine Forest. I need someone skilled in the ways of combat to help clean up Arugal's mess. Prove yourself to me by killing 5 Moonrage White Scalps. The wretched beasts can often be found just off the road down the hill below.
So 5 Moonrage White Scalps for 3 silver, 50 copper. Definitely doing that. Looks like we just have one more quest in here. That is by High Executor Hadrick. Let's make sure our home is set here. Hadrick. Lost Deathstalkers.
A couple weeks ago, 2 of our Deathstalkers, Rain and Quinn Yorick, were sent on a reconnaissance mission through northern Silverpine. We have not heard from them. They may have become victim to the Scourge, though if that is true, then I want it confirmed. Find these Deathstalkers. Their first objective was to scout the farms in northern Silverpine. You should begin your search there.
Alright, Quinn and Rain Yorick.
Our initial scouting reports of Silverpine show the Rothides have a base at an old farm to the north, the Dead Fields. We have sent small assaults against them, but each time they are reinforced by the Banshee Nightlash, who uses her magic to rout our forces. We want Nightlash destroyed. Go to the Dead Fields and assault the Rothides. If you don't see Nightlash, then kill the Rothides until she appears. Then defeat her. Her essence will turn to dust. Bring me that dust as a proof.
Kill Rothhide Knolls at the Dead Fields. When Nightlash appears, kill her. Bring the essence of Nightlash to Executor Hadrick.
Remember, patience, discipline. Embrace the shadow. What do you
Andrew Hilbert. Looks like he's got some leatherworking recipes that would have been nice to have. That's crazy. That's an insane chest piece. 5 strength, 3 agility. That's crazy. Man, it might have been better to be a leatherworker, but fuck. You don't get target dummies though, remember them. Miner. Johann Vogt. Alright, we're just gonna run outside of town real quick, grab... Well, I guess these are the Deathstalkers, huh? That's Rain. I don't know where Quinn is, but Erland is an escort quest. I'll tell you what, we'll call it a little short tonight then. We're like a minute short. We can mess with some stuff real quick. I'm sure. 1 bandage. Sell 3 of those, 2 of these. Actually, eat 1 of these. Get a buff fresh for tomorrow.
Rest your weary bones for a spell.
Head all the way back downstairs. Let's try and find somewhere I can maybe tuck in. There's definitely no beds here, but I could... There you go. Can I get in here? Damn. Sometimes they have these little cubbies big enough to get in. What about on top of the table? Oh, well, this is a coffin, huh? What if I just laid on this coffin lid next to Sebastian? That's close enough. Maybe wiggle a little closer to the center. That's great. Alright guys, well, we're going to call it there for now. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for hanging out. Peace and love, and God bless, gamers.